Hey guys, Spiderbot here, and welcome to Mondays with Spider. Sorry about that. This is going to be one of those rambling ones, I think. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a little warning up front. I have no idea what kind of gameplay I'm going to put in the background, so just, you know, whatever's running is running, right? So what I wanted to talk about, and it sort of stemmed from this whole thing, it was a few weeks ago where these rumors came about that the new Xbox, purportedly called the Xbox 720, would include a feature somehow that would prevent you from selling used games. So the idea would be, once you install the game on your Xbox 720, the game becomes linked to your Xbox 720 somehow, probably through some online pass or online registration, and it would be tied to your Xbox 720 and more than likely your ID, your online ID. So you couldn't take that disc, you couldn't sell it to somebody else, you couldn't use it on another Xbox. And it's possible you wouldn't even be able to use it on another account on the same Xbox. But that, again, all this stuff is kind of heresy, whatever you want to call it. It's rumored, who knows, right? But it brings up this whole discussion, and we've seen some of these publishers try and rake back some of these used sales. Because really, if I look at GameStop, I went and looked at the financials for both Activision and GameStop. So I'm just going to give you a little rundown, and we'll talk about why there's such this huge thing. And it all comes down to money, basically, and it all comes down to money at the expense of the consumer, as is typical. Okay, so Activision, 2011, their full year revenue was $4.76 billion. Their net income, after all their expenses and taxes and everything, their net income was $1.1 billion for 2011. Looking at GameStop, I only had their second quarter 2011 numbers available. And remember, these numbers are going to be on the low side because the second quarter 2011 didn't have very many big titles, not like the last quarter of 2011 with Modern Warfare 3 and Battlefield 3, etc. So their sales would be a lot more than what's indicated in their second quarter. But their sales were $1.74 billion. Their net income was $30.9 million. Now, I want to dig a little deeper, though. Their used game sales were $633 million. Okay, that's about 30% of their total sales was in used games. And the profit, their $30.9 million, their profit, when they list as a separate line item, the profit for the used sales accounts for well over 50% of their net income, of their $30.9 million net income. So you can see why the publishers are looking at this and they're like, man, these GameStop is making a huge amount of money off these used sales, the used sales of these games. So that's why you've seen a lot of these things come up, like the online pass. Okay, let's discuss the online pass in particular. So when you buy a new game, and it's not every game, it's just some of the publishers that have implemented this. So you buy a new game, and you have this card inside that is an online pass. You install the game on your system, and you have to enter in the code to get access to multiplayer or online. Who knows, maybe this will be the thing of the future where you have to activate that online pass to even play the game at all. And it's a one-time thing, so you link it up to your ID on your PlayStation or Xbox, and now you can play online. If you go to sell that game, let's say you don't like the game or whatever, you bring it back to GameStop, you say, hey, here's the game, they give you however much they give you, which is pretty low. It's pretty low, what they give you, and then they end up selling it, usually without the online pass, they'd sell it for $5 less than the actual retail, the new copy. So let's say the new copy is $60, they'd sell the used copy for $55, but it's in good shape. It's like, okay, so all you're paying for an extra $5 is a little wrapping, right? I mean, you check the disc's fine, you're saving $5, right? With the online pass, in my mind, all the online pass does if you buy the used game, you have to pay another $10 or whatever it is, whatever amount it is. You pay that $10 to get that online pass. But I think that just makes the game cheaper. Like if it's a $60 game and they were going to sell it for $55, with the online pass they sell it for $45. They're still giving you $20 for the thing, so they're making $25 off that sale. All it does is shrink the margins and the amount of money that GameStop can make on the used sales. They just lower the price of that used game because they know people have to pay an extra $10 on top of that. So that's all it's doing. It's not, in my mind anyway, it's really not doing anything to prevent the sale of that used game. It's just shrinking the margin of GameStop. That's it. I can't see how it's effective, and it's onerous on us as the consumer. So they're placing, this. I have to go and activate this stupid thing. I just want to get online and play, but I have to activate this, or if I bought it used, I got to purchase it. I got to put my credit card information in, whatever. So they're trying to shrink the margins of these game retailers at the expense of the consumer. I don't know, and it's really not doing them any good. All it's doing is shrinking the margin of the actual GameStop and game retailers. And you also have, and I can kind of agree with this as well, incentives for buying new, which give you extra unlocks, and I think that's pretty fair. But just going back to the online pass thing, I mean, those passes expire too. They're not loanable, not transferable to friends, family members, and possibly even other accounts in the same console. Although I haven't run into that. But with this whole, okay, so let's go back to where they're going to prevent you from even selling the used game. Okay, again, trying to shrink the margins and it would basically dry up the used game sales at GameStop, and that's 50% of their net income, 30% of their revenue. But the problem is, again, it's at the expense of us. It's at the expense of the gamers. It's a poor value for us. Okay, I can't bring my game. Hey, I buy a game. Hey, Bobby, I want to come over and try out our new game. I'm going to bring my game over. We're going to play it on your Xbox. Nuh-uh, can't do it. I got to cart my Xbox over. So now I gotta bring my Xbox over in order to play that game. Let's say I bought the game. Well, we have no recourse as a consumer. If I buy a game and I don't like it, I can't just bring it back and get a refund. It's an open game. They're like, no, you can't bring that back. It's opened, and that's it. So I don't know. I'm at a loss here. So I buy the game, I don't like it. I can't even sell it as a used game. I can't. Oh, I could sell it on Kijiji or whatever. Probably for if it was a $60 game, I could probably sell it for 45 or 50. Or if I brought it into GameStop, get maybe 25 or something for it, and they'd sell it for 55. I can't do that. I can't recoup anything from that game that sucked, that I bought because you had this great marketing machine that was, enticing me to buy that game. But when I actually started playing it, it really, really sucked. And now I'm out $60. I can't do anything with that. I can't resell that. That is freaking ridiculous. Okay? That is ridiculous. All these things, you guys, these publishers have these deals with these game retailers. Go make a deal with them to work something out with the used sales. Work it out with the retailer, not placing ridiculous things on the consumer here. I don't know. Like this Xbox 720, let's say this were to be in fact true, and the Xbox 720 were to come out with this, preventable thing for used game sales, and I can almost guarantee you there is no incentive for Xbox 720 to do it. I mean, are they going to do it because they have a few console-specific releases, like exclusive releases like Gears of War and Halo? Are they going to do it for that? No. I can almost guarantee you the publishers are putting money, again, in Microsoft's pocket to do this, because there is absolutely no advantage, there's hardly any advantage to the Xbox to actually do it themselves, unless they're getting paid by the publishers, and I can almost guarantee that's happening. And if the Xbox 720 were to do this and the PlayStation 4, let's say, that came out around the same time, and PlayStation 4 didn't do it, I mean, if everybody does it, you really don't have much of a choice other than to freaking cry foul and you know, let's get our voices heard. But if one console does it and the other doesn't, Xbox 720, I am not buying you. I will not buy your console. I'm sorry. And I don't sell. Well, I mean, I have I'm looking at my collection right now of games. I mean, I have quite a collection. I could sell some of those, but once this passes, I can't do that. And I don't. And it's not like I do sell them anyway. I tend to keep the games. I don't really need to sell them. But that's me. That's me. I mean, I'm in this business. That's what I do. For everybody else, they want to play a game and go and sell, and that's my right. I mean, it's not a slight on the publisher. I'm not supporting the publisher, okay? People, you know, I think one of the common comments is that, well, you buy used, you're not supporting the publisher. Look, there is used sales for everything, okay? I mean, I sell my car used. What? So if I buy a used car, I'm not supporting the manufacturer of that car? Come on, you can't. I mean, that's ridiculous. For $5, maybe, you know, if you want to spend that extra $5 to support the publisher and buy the new copy, then you know, I'd probably do that. But man, talk about again restricting what us consumers, you know, yeah, trying to sort this out at the expense of us, of the consumers and the gamers. I think is just ridiculous. They need to come up with other ideas. What ideas do you guys have? Do you guys have any ideas on how to curtail this? Or you know, like I said, I think I don't know, they can work out a deal. Like these publishers, and unfortunately, you know, GameStop is pretty big, and if the publishers were to threaten GameStop and say, well, we're going to pull our distribution from you guys and do it in some other fashion, I don't know if they can do that. Just because of how big that retail distribution is. And the other argument is, well, just make everything online, so all digital sales. But I have a problem with that too, especially when these new games are coming out on Blu-ray. You know how big these games are? Like, they're huge, and just to download all that, number one, especially for Xbox, because you can't just throw an external drive. Like, how much is an external drive to throw on an Xbox 720? I mean, for my PC, I can buy hard drives pretty cheap, and I can download that stuff, and I don't really have too much of an issue doing that. But on console, you know, every new game I gotta download, I gotta wait, especially with the PSN, the network speed is pretty damn slow, so I gotta download every single game every single time. Like, you're talking, you know, maybe it's 5 gigs or more even for some of these games. Like, look at Final Fantasy, multi-disc games, right? So you got to download all this stuff, then you got to store it on your hard drive, and you know, I got a 500 gig hard drive. I mean, how many games am I gonna be able to hold? And then I got to start deleting them and then re-downloading them if I want to play later, instead of just swapping a disc in. I like having disc-based games. All right, I'm sorry, but and if that goes away again, I'm gonna gravitate towards the console that doesn't require me to download every single game that I purchase. They tried that, you know. Actually, PlayStation tried that with the PlayStation Portable. That I forget what the one was. They had the PlayStation Portable, then they had a PSP. No, that is a PlayStation Portable. I don't know. They tried to do that with all digital downloads, and it failed miserably. It failed miserably, and now they have the Vita. So it's been tried. I don't know. You guys, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this topic? What ideas do you guys have to try and curtail the used sales and to give more to the publisher, who doesn't seem to be making enough net income at $1.1 billion in 2011? I don't know. Really want to know what you guys think, and I know that was a lot to take in. I'm sorry about that, but you know me. I just go to town. But yeah, really interested in what you guys think. So anyways, that has been Mondays with Spider, and I'm out.
Good job. Get ready for the next round. Half time.
Hey guys, subscribe or follow us over at NGT Minecraft, where we're chronicling the day-by-day construction of the G2PO Minecraft server. We'll also be announcing community events where we invite all you guys in to explore with us.